Hi, welcome back to Soggy Granola. I'm so glad you're here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we are going to be talking about rewards and reward systems and the two reasons why I personally do not implement them in my home. So first, let's talk about the different types of motivation. There's intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is when you are working towards something or completing a task for an external reward. So for example, you're working at that job and you want this promotion because you're going to receive an increase in pay. That is an extrinsic motivator. When you are relying on something else to motivate you that is outside of yourself. Intrinsic motivation then is the opposite. It's where you look inside and you complete tasks that bring you joy and satisfaction, and you have this internal satisfaction from completing those things. Now, a majority of us do work off of both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. There's not one that is better than the other. However, when it comes to raising children, it's really important to focus on intrinsic motivation. One way that we as parents provide an extrinsic motivator for our children is by implementing a reward system. For example, when you're teaching your child to potty train, which if you have not seen my last video, I will link it up here for you. If you're teaching your child to potty train and you create a chart for them where they are incentivized to use the potty, they are going to get a reward when they pee, when they poop, when they sit on the potty, however you have that structured, whether it's a gold star, a piece of candy, or a new Hot Wheels. You're creating a system of extrinsic rewards. It's the same thing with when we overpraise a child. When we give them all of this praise for something that they've done or completed, it creates this association that each accomplishment that they have is associated with an adult opinion. The opposite approach to this would be to recognize their accomplishments using facts without opinions or judgment. Praise qualifies each accomplishment with an adult opinion, whereas acknowledgement leaves the child free to find their own pride or joy for accomplishing something. When we take this approach as parents with our children of extrinsic motivators and reward systems and prizes for doing things, we are attaching their happiness and their good feelings with an external reward, and that's a really slippery slope. For example, instead of saying, "I'm so proud of you," you could say, "You should be so proud of yourself." It's allowing the child to feel pride for something that they did without needing an outside approval. Another example would be if your child is putting together a puzzle and they have completed it. You absolutely should acknowledge that accomplishment, and you can do that by saying, "Hey, you put all of the pieces in the right places and now you have this puzzle. You did it all by yourself." Again, you are acknowledging the accomplishment. You are using positive body language and a great tone with it. You're acknowledging that, but you're again letting the child feel that pride for themselves instead of looking to you to feel that way. The last example I'll give you is when your child is eating dinner and they don't finish everything on their plate. Instead of saying, "Hey, if you eat everything, you can have dessert," or "Because you didn't eat everything, you can't have dessert." It's really important to teach body autonomy, which I'm going to do another separate video on, but for this example, you could say, "Hey, I see you didn't finish your peas, but you finished all your strawberries. Did you like your strawberries?" And when they say yes, you could offer them more strawberries. It's important to be really careful about using reward systems with our kids, but especially when it comes to food. It can create really unhealthy habits around food, which can affect them for their entire life. We recently potty trained my son. I will link that video up here if you're curious, but we did not use any type of reward system. When he would use the restroom, he did get some praise. I don't think that removing all praise from your relationship with your children is necessary, and I don't think that that's beneficial. But as parents, and I have found myself guilty of this as well, it's easy to get into this praising mode. And so it's been really something I've had to be intentional about, to kind of pull back from that and focus more on encouraging him to feel that for himself. So when we potty trained and he would use the bathroom, I would say, "You did it, you went to the bathroom on the potty. Would you like to flush the toilet?" So then he got to send off his excrements, and he enjoyed that. There was no motivating with candy or anything else, no stickers. It was just the feeling that he was able to use the restroom and take care of his business. And I think that that's so important. So the first reason that I really like this approach is because I don't want to set an unrealistic expectation with my son of ongoing rewards that I then have to break. When you use a reward system, they're going to start performing because they want that reward, and they're going to stop doing other performing because they're not getting rewarded. There was a study that I recently saw, I will link it down below if I can find it, where this teacher had students who loved art. They loved drawing. They absolutely loved it. It was their favorite thing. They loved art. And the teacher started putting a gold star on the artwork. Of course, the kids were like eating it up, right? They're kids, they love the gold star, they love the recognition. But then when the teacher stopped putting that gold star on their artwork, they didn't want to do art anymore. Using a reward system like stickers or candy or whatever the case is setting yourself up for hardship and your child up for disappointment, because those rewards aren't going to go on forever. And the second reason that I really love this approach is because I don't want my son to attach his happiness or good feelings to external rewards or other people's validation. I want my son to be able to look inside himself and be able to feel pride without needing to get that from someone else. I don't want him to only do something because he's getting rewarded. I want him to do something because it's the right thing to do, because it makes him feel good. So this is just a inside look and a really high level explanation of the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic, and why it's important that we're very careful how we approach things with our children when it comes to a reward system and excessive praise. But if you're really interested in this and you want to know more, there's a book called Punished by Rewards. I would highly recommend it. If you're interested, I will link it down below for you. That's today's video. Short, sweet, but informational. If you have any video requests, please put them down below. I would love to hear from you. But that's it for today. If you enjoyed today's video, I would love if you would consider subscribing. I post new videos on Tuesdays and Fridays and would love to have you be part of this community. It was so great having you today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.